My wife and I have been married for 39 years. We live in a rural area, and we live about probably a quarter mile from my parents. We're getting on up in age now, so that's kind of that dynamic, I guess. We're fairly close. We go down, once a week. We'll see mom and dad. I may see them, during the week sometime. But other than that, it's kind of, it's not super, super close. My wife recently had a fall, and she had surgery on her shoulder to repair that. She is super sensitive to that kind of information, and really, she doesn't like people talking about her medical stuff. It's almost like she's got, I don't know if there's a word for it, but when she goes to see a doctor, there's lots of anxieties and what have you. So,
what's the anxiety? Is it about people finding out she's weak, or is it about, does she have health anxiety? Does she scroll the news, and did COVID scare her to death?
No, it's nothing like that. Just
Okay.
when she goes into a doctor's office, she completely, I wouldn't say freezes up, but she has difficulties dealing with medical professionals, whether it be doctors or dentists or any of that kind of stuff.
Has she gotten burned before?
That since we've been married, not that I'm aware of. Nothing bad has happened that I'm aware of. So
okay.
Maybe it was something earlier on. I'm not sure.
I had a root canal at the age of 2, and I still hate going to the dentist to this day.
Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows, man? But who knows? Okay. So
yeah.
She has a phobia, if you will, to use a clinical term, about anything medical related, okay?
I would say so,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so she wanted to we knew about the surgery was coming, and she said, I want to wait till we're right before the surgery before I tell your mom and dad. I said, okay. And so we did that, and of course, my mom and dad, they had all kind of different questions. And she said, I just don't want to talk about it. Said, I'm just letting you know, we're going to be having surgery next week to repair my shoulder. It'll all be good. We rock along, have the surgery. Then about a week or two later, I walk in the kitchen and she's just glaring at me. She said, they've done it. She said, they've requested, I've got a message on Facebook from somebody in the church that asked me how I'm doing. I said, I'm doing fine, I guess. The more she gets into it, what she finds out is that at their local church, they requested a prayer for her. And she said, I hate that they did that. I'm so angry. And so I'm trying to gather all this together, trying to figure out, well, is this really a bad thing, And the more it rocks along, and in the following couple of weeks or so, she just gets to a point where she has to go talk to him. It doesn't go well. She states stuff like, they've broken my trust. I can't trust them with anything anymore. And since that's happened like a couple of months ago, and it's not like this is wearing off. It's where it is. And so I'm still trying to, and she had the surgery and had all the medicine. I said, well, maybe it's something to do with some of the stuff she's taken, but she says, you can go down there. That's fine, but I will not go. I am done. And it's really kind of taken me aback. And I've yet to really sit down and, tell her what I really think. And that's my problem.
Is this out of character for her? Is this kind of been the way she's operated for the 4 decades y'all been together?
It's really been, it's not, I would say it's a little out of character. I've seen some changes over the past 2 to 3 years, where she's gotten a little more combative about those things, it seems like.
Okay.
But, to me, this is like, okay, if you're upset, you talk to them, you say sorry, and it's all done, and then you go on about your business. No big deal is in my mind is the way it works, but not so for her.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much going through my mind here. Everything from, I'm going to get myself lit up on the internet here. Everything from menopause to aging challenges to an increasing anxiety to who knows anything going on. If there's an out of character switch at this age, it can be a number of things. And it can also be just a straw that broke the camel's back. I haven't liked your parents. I haven't wanted to be around your parents. They live too close to us. I feel like they're running our lives. I feel like they've always run your life. Like it can be that kind of thing, right? I guess what I would tell you is on its face, as you're describing it to me, and I say this with all due respect, it doesn't sound rational, okay? You're not going to find a math problem here to solve. And I think it sounds like you are trying to just dig in and say, okay, what am I missing here? What am I missing here? What am I missing here?
Right.
I guess on its face, somebody wanted to love somebody and they offered a prayer request at their tiny little church here in rural Louisiana, and somebody Facebooked it. There seems to be something else going on here, and that's beneath all of this. And the only thing I can tell you is trying to solve the reality of this situation isn't where I would start. It would be taking your wife out of your house if possible. That might not even be possible right now, but taking her to getting her out of that environment and taking her to a place like a diner or to breakfast, or y'all go sit out at a park somewhere in some rural park somewhere, and you just exhale and you tell her, I'm trying to love you the best I can, and I can't put my finger on what the big trust violation is. Because your parents, what, are they in their 80s?
They are. They're in their 80s.
Okay.
Yep.
Why they have such control over her? Why is she outsourcing how she feels and her sense of self to these 80-year-olds at their tiny little rural church out here in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah, because for me, and she's not like this, but for me, I could care less what other people think about me. That's their problem.
I know, but that's going to get you into trouble because you're going to take that lens and try to put those glasses on her, and she's telling you, it does matter to me, and I think that's important. But I would want to get to the deeper sense here because she feels something core in her being was violated.
Yeah, she really does.
Yeah. And so I would approach it, and you may have been a problem solver your whole marriage. Like
probably.
If she was somebody who said, my boss was mean, you're like, well, I'm going to call him, or you need to tell him. That might have been your MO your whole marriage. This is a chance to do something a little bit different. And I would also start with that conversation. Hey, honey, I have tried to love you by fighting your battles and telling you what to say. You're our whole marriage, and I've been out of line on that. You're smart and beautiful and wonderful. I am missing the boat here, and I need you to, I want to dig deep because I'm hearing a couple of elderly folks at a rural place prayed for their daughter-in-law. They tried to, which I always take a prayer like that as, there is gossip prayer, and you know that, like, you know, at rural, especially a small rural church, it happens at every church, but like, I want to pray for Janet because she's gotten a little whorish these days. Like, right. So you can hide prayer requests into gossip, right? I'm not getting a sense that's what this is.
No, it's not.
And so asking open-handed, honey, I don't know how to love you right now, and I can't put the pieces together. There's something beneath this. Tell me about this anger and this rage.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you might, at the end of the day, have a decision to make, which is, am I going to not see my mom and dad? Or are you going to tell your mom and dad, I'm going to keep seeing you once a week. Y'all are my parents. I love you. I honestly, in my heart, don't know why my wife is so upset. I just don't. Is she drawing ultimatums for you right now?
That was the last piece. She did tell me. I came in from work, and she said, "Look, I've been thinking about this all day, and you got to pick. It's either me or your parents." And I'm like, "Whoa!" And that's
hold up, yeah, that's that one.
Yeah. So,
how old are you, Rick?
I'm 60.
60.
Yep.
Oh man. Does she work outside of the home?
She does. She's got a little business that does a little bit, but that's one of really, and another one of my fears is, so, okay, what happens? And I call her bluff on the ultimatum and she leaves or attempts to leave. Man, I don't know. I'm going to have to support her. I just feel I've made the vows. It's not, it's really not in me to say, you go do your thing, I'll do my thing, and
this is a much deeper thing. She's threatening divorce now.
Yep.
And that's a much deeper issue. Right?
Yep.
And yeah, man, if you could, I know rural care is really tough to come by sometimes, but if y'all lived anywhere other than rural Louisiana, I would tell you, you need to find somebody that y'all can go sit with. Because this is inside her spirit in a way that is really, I don't know that you can manage on your own.
Okay.
But I would definitely start with a hard conversation, which very open-handed. I have completely missed this. And I've been trying to love you by figuring stuff out, and that's not the right way to love you right now. I just want to hear you. I don't see it. I'm missing something. And
okay.
I can't understand how a prayer request is leading to you giving me a divorce ultimatum after 40 years of marriage together. What's going on, honey?
Okay.
Okay. Is there other things in your life that have been building?
Not really. I have, like I say, I've noticed a little bit of different behavior since I'm retired. I'm semi-retired now. And so just being around her, a little more, a little more irritation about some things, but there's been nothing that's been blatantly like, oh yeah, this is about to go down.
Okay.
So this was just.
In a perfect world, y'all have what I think can be one of the scariest and one of the most coming together conversations a couple can have, which is, hey, we get to plan our fourth quarter. Statistically speaking, we're heading into the fourth quarter of our life. The last quarter. What do we want this to look like? In terms of laughter, in terms of vacations, in terms of play, we've retired or we're kind of retired. How do we make meaning of the last... Statistically, the last 15 years, but reality, probably the last 20, 25, or 30 years of our life, what do we want that to look like?
Right.
And my parents are going to be around 5, 10 more years, right? What do we want this to look like? But I don't even know if you're there. And I don't know if she's just sitting at home on Facebook, just getting madder and madder. If the stress of the world is sitting on her, if she's been mad at you for 20 years and you being home all the time and just seeing you is just... I don't know, man. And I don't know that you're going to, quote unquote, figure that out like you might figure out what's wrong with your car engine.
Gotcha.
And so the only thing I can tell you is to start with an open-handed, I've said this 3 or 4 times now, and I apologize for repeating myself, but an open-handed, I don't know how to love you right now. And you've put me in a position where either you're going to divorce me or I'm not going to continue to care for my 80-plus-year-old parents over a prayer request. I'm missing something here. Please tell me what's going on in your spirit. Do you not like where we live? Do you not like the life that we've co-created? Are you scared about the fourth quarter? It can't just simply be because of this. And maybe she'll write you a letter and read it to you. Maybe she'll just be open and vomit. Give her permission to vomit. And then tell her, I'm not going to respond at this breakfast. I just want to hear from you. Because something big is going on inside her soul. Thanks for the call, man. I wish I could give you more concrete stuff. If she wants to call in, I'd love to talk to her and hear her side of this. But on its face, there's not and I say rational, that sounds like she's irrational. It's not what I mean, but there's not an A plus B equals C, right? It's not that she went to them and said, hey, I'm about to have this surgery. I'm very, very private. You guys are very religious and prayerful. I'm going to ask that you keep this private. And they were like, screw you. We're doing this. That doesn't seem that's what's happened. It seems that she is dealing with some deep and profound unhappiness, sadness, depression, whatever you want to call it. And man, she's ready to burn everything to the ground. And before that happens, man, Just open your hands and say, how can I love you right this second? Not right this second, in this season, because there's something bigger going on.